Hello and welcome to another Tip Tuesday. My name is Adam Waymer, Director of Customer Success here at IndySoft, and today I wanted to take you through something that is a little more conceptual. IndySoft is a large piece of software. It's incredibly configurable, and there's lots of places to store data. I wanted to talk a little bit about system-wide, company, and user location, and just determine how you might want to set things up with some quick tips of where things probably should live, depending on how you're using the software. So as I said, system-wide, company, and user location. System-wide is type of information that's usually be controlled by a system admin. The extreme opposite of the user location, which is the individual and how they're using the software. It's going to live across all assets depending what you're setting up. There's a couple of good examples in here I want to talk about with system-wide information. So many people, you're probably familiar with our videos on extended attributes. With system-wide preferences, which again I found by going to Options, Preferences, System-wide, you're going to find things that, again, it's going to apply for everything in the software. So if I make these extended attributes, this would be on every single piece of equipment that exists in the software. If I make something, test info 1, and whatever it is, it's now going to be across the board. So when you set something like that up, you can then synchronize it across all pieces of equipment so it lives there for future use. There's other variations on it. If you check the attribute video, you'll see the company-wide specific one or the attribute type specific one. But again, I use this as an example to say is when you're making this and you're thinking about how you want to store information, does it apply to everything or does it apply to just certain people? So that's something to focus on in here. Everybody with system-wide. And on top of that, with the user different labels, a lot of people will see this and say company labels. Oh, well, it applies to certain companies. No, this is for every single company, how I control my custom fields, what they're called. So system-wide, my company, custom text 1 is always expedite, whatever it might be. It's going to be every add edit list. You're going to see that information. It's consistent for every company. What's stored in that field is stored at the company level, but that is the label for it. So again, I'm thinking solely in terms of should it be true for everyone. That's what's important with system-wide attributes. But then the next level down is going to be company, because you might have scenarios where information changes based on your end customer, your internal companies, how things are controlled there. So if I come in here to a company, all of that information is controlled at that specific company. To come back to the extended attributes here, I just showed system-wide, every single asset in the system. If I create an attribute here, called test info 2, whatever that might be, when I make this, it's only going to be visible for assets in this specific company. If I switch out of Acme Manufacturing and go to a different asset and a different company, I wouldn't see this extended attribute. There are scenarios where I only want information for certain customers. I might get a request from a particular customer that I want to accommodate, and I need to capture certain information just for them that I would never capture for anyone else. Then I might come in here and make some extended attributes for it. And if you come over here to the custom fields, you'll see my system-wide labels live here. Value changes company by company, but this is always referred to as expedite no matter what company I'm in, because it is controlled at the system-wide level. So top-down system, coming down level to company. But then we also have the user location settings. At this point, we're not even talking about the assets themselves or information stored. We're actually talking more about how the software works for that particular individual. So when you come in here to edit user location settings, you can get there from the hamburger, you'll find all stuff that is related to you. An important concept of that is the location. What location means here most commonly is the workstation I'm at. When I have gone over to workstation A, I work a certain way. When I'm at workstation B, I work a different way. So this drop down here allows me to control settings and save these based on whichever workstation I'm at. Real common example with this is going to be something like printer routing. If I come into printer routing, I can say at printer 1 I use a Brother P-Touch, and I save that setting and come back in here. Now when I go to workstation B and come to printer routing. It might be, let's say, Henry computer P-Touchy. So if I switch between the workstations, it automatically adjusts my printer routing. And went back to desktop. So it makes it simple on a user so that when they're in there, when they switch between workstations, all their settings adjust based on where they're at. Again, it's not going to be a place of controlling equipment information or anything that's relevant for anyone else. The user and location settings are about where a person is, where they are, and what they're doing in that location. So we start at system-wide, applies to everyone. Company, very specific to that, everything in the company stratosphere, the equipment inside of it, that particular company's requirements. And then user location, the person using the software. So just different levels of control, different levels of information. I wanted to clarify that because we do tend to get lots of questions on copying settings. You can check the other YouTube videos we have on that as an example. We have copying user preferences. You can copy those across other users if you have a perfect example. Or company preferences. If you have those set up and you want to apply them to another company, you can very easily copy those over. Check those YouTube videos out. But again, all I wanted to touch base on today was just thinking about levels of control when you're setting up information in your software. If you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns on that, you can always email support@IndySoft.com, and we're happy to take you through it. Have a great day.